if you are somebody who has trouble feeling your abs when you're doing an ab exercise, I want to say that this was a really, really hard piece of the puzzle for me personally. I just naturally tend to stand with my belly poked out. I see it in my kids, I see it in my mother, I see it in my brother. Like, there's definitely a genetic component to it, and it can be hard to override. But if you do the reverse, so if you stand with your belly poked out, and I'm sure you guys have still seen me do this today because it's such an old habit, okay? But if you stand this way, you're making your abs longer, and as a general rule, it makes it harder to contract them. But if you find positions where you're bent forward or when you're on hands and knees, and you can create more motion into your back, you're starting that contraction. You're starting with your abs a little bit shorter, and it gets easier to find them and easier to feel it. And once you can start to build these connections between your brain and your abs, where you can feel them contract, where you can think in your mind that you want this thing to happen, and then you can feel that thing happen, you can feel the tension build in your abs, then you can gradually work yourself from this more bent forward position, which is obviously not very functional, into a more upright or straighter or more functional position, and still be able to keep that connection between your brain and your abs and still feel yourself build that tension that's what you're going for. So you want to be able to breathe into other areas instead of only into your belly, because if you're only breathing into your belly, you're letting go of that tension that you're trying to create, and that's why we need the breath to move in different places. I'm always bad about fix your heart bottom. I'm always bad about remembering when to share food, but people are always asking. So I worked out, had a post-workout protein drink with some fruit. Then I always eat something more substantial, like shortly thereafter. So I have leftover taco meat with a dippy egg, and then I add extra egg whites. So getting extra protein that way. I just aim for about 4 to 5 meals / snacks per day, where I'm getting 20 to 30 grams, and that has been a really good place for me to maintain where I'm at without hyper-focusing on what I'm eating, and then I just add in the other stuff around it of carbs and fats. Fix your heart bottom, part 3, looks like integrating glute strength in positions that emphasize hinging at the hips. Hip hinging activities will help to create strength through the full range of